I'm here with Liu Batchelor, and it's kind of interesting because normally you're on the other side interviewing other people, but now it's me. I get to say all the various bits and pieces. So what we'd like to talk about is just quickly introduce like an overview of your business, perhaps.
Okay, so I run the Big Ideas Show, which is part of LVB Creative, and that basically falls kind of into two separate areas that cross nicely in the middle, which is marketing, so events, content, video, a bit like this one right now, and also coaching. So coaching business people on their vision, their values, why they do what they do, as a key component that then leads into their marketing.
Okay, so do you want to tell us a bit more about what the Big Ideas Show is kind of about, how that fits in with LVB Creative as a whole? Yeah,
so the Big Ideas Show is really about giving people the space and the time to explore those ideas that are really important to them. So I personally believe that we all have something that we want to do to make a difference to the world, and I believe that when we're in business, we're using our business as a way of expressing and contributing to society in one way or another. But sometimes businesses aren't always clear on that, or a business owner isn't necessarily clear on that from the start, or sometimes it can get lost in the day-to-day kind of business stuff. And the Big Ideas Show is about giving guests a chance to share those ideas, big picture topics, discussions that mean a lot to them, so that they can then start to become more comfortable, more familiar with them, and then express them through their main business. So the show is a weekly video social media show and also a podcast.
Right.
And that then feeds into, there's also sponsors who will also do videos as part of it. And again, part of their sponsorship is that they get videos and I have discussions with them to kind of almost that they create their own kind of podcast series, their own video series about the stuff that's important to them. And then I'll do, the LVB is the consultancy side that helps people take that to the next stage. So more involved coaching, getting really, really clear on their vision and how they then express that both internally to their team and externally to their customers.
And so it's kind of organic because the two kind of bleed into each other, they mix into each other.
Exactly, because I believe as human beings, it's the nature of human beings that we always take action consistent with our point of view.
Sure.
But if we're not clear on our point of view, or we have maybe a subconscious hidden point of view, then we find ourselves not taking action, or taking action that is contrary to the things that we say or think we should be doing. And so they have to work in parallel. And I'll often kind of work with people going, right, what is your point of view? And when you know that, when you're very clear about your vision and your why, those actions become a lot easier, or you can align those actions with it. And vice versa, if you're not taking action, okay, there's something there that can be revealed, but until you do, you'll find yourself procrastinating over and over and over again.
Sure, and you get yourself into a cycle of kind of not realizing what it is you need to achieve.
Yeah.
Do you find that people come into an interview situation and maybe they're nervous about it, but as they go through it, they suddenly find, or they become motivated or inspired in some way as they didn't realize that was going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the time I think people try and know exactly what they think or feel or want to say, or what their idea is, before they say it out loud. And of course the stuff that's in our head doesn't always come out how it is in our head. It's a very small space up there, whereas the world out there is huge, and what people think, how you want to add value or make a difference to the world, sometimes we don't know how to contribute to others without involving others. So the idea of the Big Ideas Show is that you get it out of your head, you speak it, and in your speaking you start to learn about yourself and your idea. And when you're motivated and inspired by an idea or by a plan of action, you know that you're onto something.
So it's the very act of actually speaking it is critical to that then?
Yeah, because marketing is all about communication, and marketing always starts with a conversation, right? Because that's the basis of communication. A conversation that you probably have with your partner, your business partner, with investors, with your team. And if you can't, if you're not expressing what's true to you and your vision, then that's not going to come across, and they're not necessarily going to be inspired as much as when you're really on point. And when you can communicate that to them, the chances are then they'll communicate it to the next stage, then it will start to come through in your marketing.
So you set this business up in Folkestone. Can you tell us why you thought Folkestone would be a good idea to set it up in?
Well, Folkestone, I grew up in Folkestone, but then moved away for university and for work, and it's a really exciting time to come back. And it's obviously well known for there's lots of creative businesses here, lots of digital marketing, but also lots of it felt like there were lots of young businesses. It had a real mentality of growth and support, and I kind of wanted to be part of that. And also it was this idea that I kind of just had this sense that there was stuff going on, and people with big ideas and people with big passions and lots of potential, and I wanted to be there to be able to support them to get it out and express it, and to kind of collectively do more with business. So that, my vision, my mission really is to have business be more authentic, right? That it starts with whoever's the owner, the founder, the leader of that company. If they're not authentic with themselves, then their message will come across that way. And if we can get really clear on it for ourselves, then we can build those businesses that we want to build, rather than, how often do you hear people say they started a business and then they're almost a slave to their own business, they're stuck in it. If you're going to put all this time into starting up a business, why not? It has to be what you truly want to give your whole energy to and make a difference. And I kind of feel and see that in Folkestone, and it's helping people to get that out.
There's definitely a feeling in Folkestone of something's growing and something's developing.
Yeah.
And we're here at the workshop, which is a very good example of somewhere. We're right at the centre of something, and right opposite this quarterhouse. We're very, very much in a cultural and business centre of what's going on. So you feel yourself fitting into that, do you?
Yeah, definitely. And the people that I've met, and how they've supported me, and how hopefully I've managed to support them, has been crucial to my business growth and my personal growth as well. Because ultimately, especially with a small business, it's your personal limitations are often your business limitations. So you've got to be always growing as an individual in order to allow your business to grow. And some of the people that I've met and the support I've been given has been amazing, and it's been really great to kind of get to know, to make friends, get to know people as friends, get to understand what they're passionate about, and then be able to help them express that passion. I kind of organised, set up TEDx Folkestone, and that was a key thing as part of that, because I was able to help other people have a voice and kind of get on the stage and share their big ideas. And in return, I feel like people have been there and supported me. And, even if it's nothing more than just encouragement and support for what I'm doing, that whole support and networking element has been amazing in Folkestone. And the amount of people that got behind what I was doing with it massively helped me to grow, and hopefully helped other people to make their own connections.
I think more than at any time ever in Folkestone's history, we find ourselves in a situation where people are reacting to each other. And you mentioned what's happening here and being able to talk to other people here. So really do you feel this is a very much a melting pot, a very diverse area now?
Yeah.
And people kind of want to kind of get involved in other people's projects?
Yeah, definitely. There's a massive yes mentality in Folkestone. It doesn't take much to say, I've got this idea, what do you think? And people are like, oh yeah, cool, you should speak to this person, or you should speak to that person. And that's both in a community element, but also in a business sense. People are always linking other people up, making connections, networking, sharing their contacts. And it's wonderful to see how that community and cultural element and arts element is feeding into business as well. And we've got a great business network, I think.
I do feel like now we're suddenly the greater than the sum of our parts, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By just combining, collaborating, which is ultimately what you were saying.
Yeah, definitely. Collaboration is the biggest thing, and it allows, by collaborating, I think it can be quite easy, can't it, for businesses to feel scared and oh my God, they're a competitor, or they might potentially be crossing over on my patch. Whereas when we truly know what our contribution is, what our vision, what we want to give to our customers, but also to society, no one's really a competitor. They may be offering the same product, but to different people and for different reasons. And when you know what you do and what you do best and what you're all about, you can then work with other people knowing that have the same interests, really, and the same why they want to contribute to the world, and the same why.
So what are some of the key factors that have helped you kind of grow your business locally?
I think TEDx Folkestone was a big thing.
You're doing that again.
We're doing that again this
year.
Yep. So being able to reach out to like-minded people, I think, that shared, kind of, I guess you could say, shared my vision, but also I saw that as I provided a platform in which other people could find their voice, and in doing so, I found my voice, and I found people that would listen, because the Big Idea Show is all about, it's a show, it's a podcast, it is about sharing your voice and having people listen, but you can't expect other people to listen to you if you don't listen to them.
So what advice would you give to another business, as it were, looking to start up in Folkestone?
So I'd say, other than get yourself get out there, get somewhere like the workshop, one of the other co-working spaces, getting to events and get chatting. That's the first thing. But then after that, kind of, I guess, more generally in terms of growing their business, would be to really, really look at why you're doing what you're doing.
Sure.
What is it that really lights you up? You know, if you were to look at your ideal day, what would your dream day look like? Or what is the one bit in your work that inspires you the most? And really, really continue, and this is not just a one-time thing, continue to look at why that bit is so important to you, and what is the impact. As human beings, we want to connect with other people, and so normally it'll be an element of, I enjoy this bit lights me up, because you're connecting, or you're contributing, or you're adding value to other people in some way. And this will come in absolutely any sector. Like, this is not specific for services or products or whatever. It's absolutely everything. So to really take that time to kind of get clear on what's the message, what is it you want to contribute to the world. And then and that's an ongoing thing, but alongside of that, it's getting into action. Like, we can often fall into two camps. There's some of us that'll kind of think a lot about strategically why we're doing this, and then there's others who will always be in action, but maybe not take that time to think. And they've got to come in parallel. I think it's getting clear what you want, and when you're not sure, to take action to find the answers. And that's ultimately the basis of a growth mindset. If you don't know something, you go out, you look, you learn, and then you can take the knowledge from it and move forward to the next step. So it's this balance between, why am I doing this? If you're not sure, take action and try things, experiment. And if you find yourself not taking action, or taking action and not enjoying it, it's telling you something. Look at, why didn't I enjoy that? Why am I not doing it? What am I scared of? And you can constantly be playing with those two things to give you a better idea. It's by being in action that we learn what our vision and our passion is, and also what it isn't. Sometimes having something going horrendously wrong, or not working, or not enjoying something, is your chance to go, great, well, I can rule out that whole area, and I can focus on the things that are important more. So action, but also always keep clear, why am I doing this? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Where do I want to contribute and add value to other people? And having that growth mindset amongst all of it. Like, even if it goes wrong, there is learning to be had. If nothing more, it's personal development.
All sounds excellent. Well, thanks very much for being on this side of the table this time. Hopefully someone's found something useful in that whole interview.
Thank you.